Hello everyone. So this session we're going to talk about understand how to log into the SAP application, how to navigate, what are the different types of screens, how to understand what are the transaction lines, how to check for those transactions and execute them. So basically whenever you start working either as a user or as a consultant, the system which is assigned to you on the system desktop, you'll be finding a specific icon which is called as the SAP logon pad, which looks something like this on the desktop. Double clicking on that icon will open this screen which we call as the server selection screen. So here you'll see the list of servers which are allowed to be connected to the user. If you're working as a consultant, then this will include the three servers that we were talking about yesterday in the previous session, the development server, testing server, and production server. If you're working as a user, you may not even see the screen, you'll directly get the login screen. So double clicking on the server to which you're going to work on will open the initial login screen, which will look something like this. This is a screen, except for this information box, it will be similar to what a consultant will see in the real time. So like I was telling you in the previous session, client will identify the division of the server, which is used for configuration activities. The username will be the username assigned to that particular user or consultant for logging into the SAP application. Password and language will indicate in what language the application data has to be displayed. So the default setting for your practice server, that is the IDS system, will be English. Okay. Enter your assigned username password to log into the system. Now once you log in the IDS system or as an end user, the first screen you'll see is the easy access screen, which is where all the end user transactions are carried out from. These transactions are all listed under the SAP menu under different folders. So each of these folders will include activities for that specific purpose. Opening each of the folders will show the relevant activities for that specific process. Every activity can be executed by double-clicking on this line which has a cube or using the shortcut code which is available for each of the transactions. So the activity that we executed has this transaction code which is listed here in the display option as transaction. So I can either execute the transaction by double clicking on this line or entering this relevant transaction code. This shortcut code is called as a transaction code. I can enter it in the command box, press enter and execute it and get the same screen. Pressing F3 will take you back one step, close the transaction and take you back. So you can either use this button when you execute a transaction, you can use this button to go back one step, or you can press F3 as it shows here to go back one step. Based on the client requirement and the user profile, either the complete SAP menu for that specific activity will be allowed to be displayed, or only that specific activity will be added to the favorite list for that user to carry out that activity. So when the particular activity is added in the favorite list, the entire SAP menu will be removed from display. So you can hide the menu, SAP menu, go to this and do not display, only display favorites. So now I will not be able to see the entire SAP menu. So based on the client preference, we will be able to activate or disable the SAP menu tree. Now, if the favorites are not required, then they can delete it, or if the same system is shared by different people across different shifts, then I can add folders for each user and add the relevant transaction in each folder for each user and disable the entire SAP menu. So whatever is the requirement for the client will be able to configure it during the initial configuration, initial customization. Now the window of the SAP application is called as a session, and for one user connected to one physical server, a maximum of 6 sessions can be opened at any given point of time. So to open a new session, you can use any of these options. So these are the options available. You can go to the main menu, System, open new GUI window, press Ctrl N on the keyboard, or create new icon, new session icon, or click on the right click icon. I'll be showing each one of these options. So you go to the main menu, System, new GUI window, or you press Ctrl N on the keyboard, or you click on this create new session icon. The right click button will be right next to the menu button, menu option, main menu, and you can click on create session, or you can type /O in the command box, press enter, and then in the pop-up you can click on the generate button. So these are the different options to open a session. To close a session, you can use again any of these options. The best one, easiest one, would be to use the normal close button, at the top right of the window of that session. So you can use this button to close the session. Now, if multiple sessions are opened at the same time and you want to close all the sessions and also disconnect from the server, you can go to the main menu, System, and select Log Off to completely close the connection with the server. Now, once you have logged off, if you want to reconnect to the application, then you have to go back to the server selection screen, double-click on it, and log in back. Now, this screen that you're seeing is the end user screen or the transaction screen, like I said earlier. This is not the screen from where the consultants are going to work. In order to go to the consultant screen, you can follow the menu path, SAP menu, Tools, SAP menu, Tools, Customizing, IMG, Execute Project. Double click on it and you get the screen, or you can use the transaction code SPRO in the command box, press enter, and you get this screen. This is the screen that the consultant will see whenever they log in. So here they're able to see the task which is assigned to them in the project. Double clicking on the project, on the task name, will open the relevant customization or configuration screen. Since we are not working in a project, we click on this button called SAP Reference IMG to open the customization or configuration screen. Now here the activities are listed under different headings based on their impact. So the grouping will be as per the impact based on the different types of configurations and components required. Activities which are common to all the components will be grouped together. Activities which are specific to each component will be under specific components. So the activity in this screen will be identified by this specific icon, the stopwatch or the clock symbol. Clicking on this icon will execute that particular transaction. As such, this icon is also called as the execute or the activity icon. So clicking on this will execute that particular activity. Now in the end user screen, all the activities have a relevant transaction code. As such, any activity in the end user screen can be executed either by following the menu path or using the transaction code. However, in the consultant screen, not all the activities have a transaction code. Most of them have a transaction code, but these transaction codes will not be displayed by default like you see in the end user screen. So when you go to the IMG screen, in order to activate the display of these transaction codes, you have to go to the menu path, main menu, additional information, again additional information, display key, IMG activity. Clicking on this option will open a new column here where you can see some information displayed. When you go to that specific activity, you'll see a lot of detail here. Now, this entire element is not a code. The consultant codes usually start with the letter O. So the last 4 or 5 characters in this line which start with the letter O are the T codes for that specific activity. In most of the cases, consultant activities, since the activities carried out by a consultant will anyhow be displayed here, the consultant T codes need not be displayed by default. As such, they are needed to be displayed or activated for display whenever the consultant requires the T codes to be displayed. So this is what the initial screens was all about. Please practice the initial screens to familiarize yourself with the look and feel of the application. And you can follow the notes already uploaded into the system to go for this, to carry out these transactions. The next session, we're going to talk about the next topic. Thank you.